Hi, welcome. My name is Ifeanyi Ajebili. I'm your host today, and welcome to Lagos Business School Q&A session. Today we're talking about the Hi, welcome. My name is Ifeanyi Ajebili. I'm your host today, and welcome to Lagos Business School Q&A session. Today we're talking about the Sorry, hold on. There's echo in the background. Let me just fix that. Sorry about that. There was an echo in the background, so I needed to fix that. So welcome. So as I was saying that today we'll be talking about the various MBA program at the Lagos Business School. I'll be here to take any of your questions with regards to any clarification or anything that you don't get or you don't understand or if that has been bothering you that you would like to talk more about. But I'll start by giving us a brief summary of the various MBA programs that we have before we can go into the Q&A. Lagos Business School started in 1991 with the preparatory MBA in partnership with the IESE Business School, University of Navarra, Barcelona, Spain. So the program ran for about a decade before we introduced the full-time MBA program at LBS. So after the full-time MBA program, then in 2014, we started the modular executive MBA. And this year, we started the modular MBA program. So we have 4 MBA programs at the Lagos Business School. We started with EMBA, then full-time MBA, then modular EMBA, modular executive MBA, and now modular MBA we started this year. All the 4 MBA programs are general management MBA programs. So our MBA program is not a specialized MBA. However, in your second year, you can hone your skills by selecting some electives that allows you to, understand that area better and then focus on that area. But the certificate won't be a specialized MBA, to just be a MBA. So these 4 MBA programs have different duration and they have different times that they resume. For the executive MBA program, they start January of every year. For the modular executive MBA, they start in August. We should have started this July, because of the pandemic, moved it to August. Currently, all our MBA programs are online, meaning the full-time MBA program have classes now online, 100% online because of the pandemic. So once the pandemic the issue is under control. We pray that the vaccine will soon come out and federal government will release guidelines, or the federal government may release guidelines before the vaccination of its citizens. Then the institution will go back to physical face-to-face classes. Currently, all the MBA programs are online, or migrated online as far back as March 18th, when the cases in the country increased to 5 cases. These are the measures we have in place to protect our own students and the LVS community. This is a Q&A session. So once I'm done with the summary of the MBA program, you can then ask questions with regards to the MBA, or you can send your question in the chat. I will answer all of them. So the full-time MBA starts September of every year, while the modular MBA starts January of every year. On duration, the programs have different duration. Full-time MBA is 18 months. The rest of the programs are 24-month MBA program. So we have Executive MBA, 24 months, Modular Executive MBA, 24 months, Modular MBA, 24 months. The different MBA programs that we have are for different profiles of candidates. For full-time MBA, the program is for young professionals who are mostly career switchers, and they are looking for the opportunity to leave their work and do full-time learning. They do full-time learning. So typically have candidates on the average, they have 6-7 years work experience. They are coming on the full-time MBA program from various industries. And maybe they're coming from marketing, customer service. They don't want to do that anymore. They want to move into investment banking, consulting, and all that. So they are majorly career switchers that we have on our full-time MBA program. For our executive MBA program, what we've seen are candidates with, on the average, 12 years work experience. They are more senior. They are senior executive, maybe to senior level managers from their various companies. Some of the entrepreneurs, they own and manage their own business. Some are employees of both local and multinationals. So they are coming to gain knowledge and also expand their business network, allowing them to upskill, and as well as enable them to pivot and start their own business or to advance their career in whatever organization they are working for. So these people are people that are looking at entrepreneurship, and they're also looking at more senior managerial position in the organization. So they come for the executive MBA program. They can't afford to leave work, so they work and study. So they come mostly Fridays and Saturdays for the executive MBA classes. For the modular executive MBA, it's a flexible MBA program compared to the executive MBA program. So the regular executive MBA program that we have, the classes are Fridays and Saturdays. In addition, they have one intensive week every 4 months. While the modular executive MBA, they don't come every weekend. So they come. Sorry, I'll be meeting all. If you want to talk, I'll allow you to talk so that you can reduce background noise. So I was saying that the modular executive MBA program, the program is more flexible than the regular executive MBA program, in that the candidates don't need to come every weekend. They come intensive week every 2 months. So their classes are online and also face-to-face, while the executive MBA, the classes are face-to-face, and the full-time MBA, the classes are face-to-face. So for the modular executive MBA program, what we've seen are profile of candidates. On the average, they have 14 years work experience. They are more senior. Average age is 49 years. They are more senior. They are looking for opportunity to expand their business network. These are the kind of profile candidates we've seen, in addition to gaining managerial skills and competencies that enable them to advance their own careers. So these are the profile of candidates we've seen on a modular EMBA program. The new modular MBA program that we started this year, what we've seen are young professionals who don't want to leave their work and do full-time MBA. So we have candidates, they are newly married, they don't want to relocate to Lagos, they're outside the country, they're outside Lagos. They don't want to relocate to Lagos to do an MBA program. So they want a flexible MBA program. They still want to retain their work. They are newly promoted in their work places. They want to retain that and also do a quality MBA program. So on modular MBA, we see these candidates. On the average, they have about 7-8 years work experience. They are looking for opportunity to gain quality education and use that to advance their own careers. These are the things we've seen. Generally, our MBA program, you need to have a minimum years of work experience before you can embark on any of them. For the young professionals MBA program, which is either the full-time MBA or the modular MBA, you need to have worked for a minimum of 3 years. For the executive MBA program, you need to have worked for a minimum of 7 years, whether it's the regular EMBA program or the modular executive MBA program. You need to have worked for 7 years in that program. How do we calculate years of work experience? We'll calculate post-graduation. So all your internship, all the work you did while as an undergraduate, we don't count it as work experience. The work experience we recognize are those experiences you must have gotten post-qualification, post-graduation. Those are the experiences we calculate. And you need to be, for a young professional, you need to have worked for 3 years by the time the program is started. So for you to start this year, you need to have started working in 2017, August 2017, for you to join the full-time MBA this year. Modular MBA, same thing, you need to have worked for a minimum of 3 years before you can embark on the program, while the regular executive MBA, you need to work for a minimum of 7 years. For admissions into the executive MBA, the quality of your work experience is what matters most. So admission committee look at the depth and breadth of your own work experience on the modular EMBA and the regular EMBA program, because there's executive MBA program. So we are looking for candidates who on the average must have had a minimum of 2 years managing human and capital resources or they are team leads in their own various organizations. So those are the things we've seen. Another requirement you need to have before you come on the MBA program, you need to have 5 credits, including English and mathematics. That's the minimum. You must have a credit in English, you must have a credit in mathematics. Why is that? The reason is that there's a minimum quantitative aptitude that is required for any MBA candidate anywhere in the world. Chinya, I'll get to you. I know your hand is raised up for questions, but let me just finish with the summary, then we can take the Q&A. The minimum quantitative and verbal aptitude that is required of any MBA candidate anywhere in the world. So those certificates are very, very important for us. WASC or WAEC, or if you schooled outside Nigeria, we need you to have, if you are from Francophone Africa, you need to have your baccalaureate and your diplomas. A baccalaureate, even though you don't have English language French language, but you need to take the GMAT or the GRE. For the class of degree, you need to have a minimum of second class lower in your own degree. For modular MBA, modular executive MBA, and the regular executive MBA program, you need a minimum of second class lower plus or HND plus PGD if you don't have a university degree. All the MBA programs, you need to write a test, an admission test, either ESA or the MMAT. We advise you to write the ESA because it allows you to take that exam from the comfort of your home. We advise candidates that are currently applying for our MBA program to take the ESA. It's safer, it's shorter, about an hour exam, allows you to take it from the comfort of your home, and you can schedule it at any time. My colleague will be talking more about the exam later in the course of the Q&A program. So that's a summary. If you want to ask questions with regards to any of our MBA program, please, or there's anything that you feel that you need to get more information on with regards to the MBA program, now is the time to talk about it. Please just raise your hand, or if you want to speak, raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat, and then I'll take it one after the other to answer the question. So, Chinye, please go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Mogeku Chinye Kelvin. Sorry, I joined you guys a little bit late. So I could say I'm a little bit lost, but I was able to catch up along the line. Okay, Lagos Business School. I'm not quite new to you guys. I applied to study an MBA with you guys sometime in 2011. The exams went through. I was bid to resume classes. So fortunately, I had a very high-paying job, which I couldn't really mix up with the school. And yeah, since then I've been on the field of oil and gas, like the field of oil and gas since 2011 up till now. So now my question is this: I'm about branching off to run my own oil servicing firm. So I want to know, is it now that I want to because by default I'm ditching my current job to run a servicing company, and it's as bad as I don't have the experience to even prepare a quote. But yeah, it's that bad. But I have the experience to run a company locally. Let me use the word locally, but not so professionally. So for someone like me, what would be my requirement? Will I need to write GMAT again? Because I mean, it's been up to, by default, I've worked quite close to 9 to 11 years experience. Yeah, is it possible that I need to write GMAT or GRE again? And yeah, that's the question. I think I'm trying to remember. There are two questions, but that's the first one.
Okay, thank you, Mogeku. Thank you so much. I'll start by saying that managerial experience, competencies is very important in any industry, allowing you to be able to upscale and do things professionally, manage your business very well. That's a good one. A couple of days back, a friend of mine too is also trying to set up his own firm. He had some DPR guys come for an audit in his own firm and all that. Yeah, so that we're able to do some bidding, some oil and gas services and all that. Yes, so it's a good one. So with regards to writing a test, if you recall, when you did the application 2011, the test is always there.
Yeah, I wrote it.
Exactly. So now that requirement is a key requirement. It allows us to determine the minimum quantitative aptitude. we've had the argument with other candidates before now in regards to, hey, is it not experience? Why don't you focus on experience and then leave the test? What I usually let them know is that there is a minimum in terms of quant and verbal aptitude, because we are getting executives of similar profiles in the same class. And we don't want a situation whereby you come into class and a class is going on and somebody is asking something like, okay, this year you did oil and gas, maybe engineering and procurement for offshore firm, maybe it's a vessel, offshore field maintenance vessel, and you needed to do some services on it and maintain some oil platforms off the coast of Borneo or whatever. And you did a service of 10 USD. Next year, you did 12 USD. And said, okay, wow, the business grew by 20%. And someone raised his hand and asked the faculty, sir, 20%, how did you calculate that? So those kind of things that will draw someone back, we decided to have a minimum aptitude that allows people of the same profile to be in that class so that will not drag everybody behind. Everybody be on the same page and learn and grow at the same level. So there's a minimum quantitative and verbal aptitude that's required. So how do you determine that? There's other arguments that exam is not a true test of knowledge, but up to today, we've not seen anything that is better. I'm also of the opinion that the exam is not a true test of knowledge, but that's why we don't even have only a test. We'll have an interview and we'll have some other CVs and other supporting documents for us to make our decision. Exam is not the only thing we check, but we also have a minimum test score that you need to have before you can join the LDS MBA program. I know some schools abroad, you may not even need to write tests and all that, but if you check, they are not on the same ranking or pedestal with Lagos Business School. It's not as if we are trying to say we are too different, no, but there's a minimum aptitude that we want to see in class, and that is how we are different. Since you've done the test before, now in 2011, I will encourage you to write the ESA. It's an hour, exactly 50 minutes. You can take it from the comfort of your home. You don't need to go to any test center to write that. And it's about 15, I think 15 or 20 questions in all that you need to answer over the course of 50 minutes. I'll have a minimum score for that. For executive 5, for other programs 7, before you can be considered for admission. So I encourage you to write that exam. The exam test on quantitative, algebra, arithmetic, geometry.
What did you call it?
Essential Skills Assessment Test by GMAT, owners of GMAT. The new exam that introduced last month.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so it cost around $129, but they give us discounts, so you can write it at $55, which is around 25,000 naira. If you reach out to us, we'll give you a discounted voucher that you can use to write the test.
So now the Essential Skill Assessment Test, yeah?
Yeah.
This suffice for GMAT and the likes?
Yes, so you need to write only one test. Either you write the Essential Skill Assessment Test, or you write the GMAT, or write the GRE.
Okay.
So these are the 3 options. You can write either of them. So you can write ESA and send to us, and we process your admissions using the ESA. Is accepted.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, good. Nomso Iroha. So Chinya, if you remember the other question,
yes.
you can also ask.
Okay,
yes,
that would be good. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, hi, this is Nomso. Good morning.
Morning there.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, so I started my application
Okay.
Yes, so I'm going to close it out by this weekend. But I wanted to ask, so you're speaking about ESA, but you haven't said much about NMAT, which is what I'm
Okay.
writing. So I'm just trying to find out what is the difference, and do you have like a suggestion on which you prefer? Because I studied mass communication and
Okay.
I'm going for the full-time master's program, and I'm not so knowledgeable about math. Like, I'm not so good at math and all that. Not like not so good, but I would rather not engage in math. So I want to know, do you like suggest to candidates which, or profile them and then ask them questions, and based on the answers you get, suggest a particular exam between ESA and NMAT for them to write?
No, the reason why is because of health reasons, health concerns. That is
Okay.
the major reason. Because if you are writing MMAT, you need to leave the comfort of your home to visit a test center and then pass through the protocols of wearing masks, washing your hands and all that, and get through the computer, signing checks and all that. Majorly is because of health reasons. We adopted the ESA because of that reason in particular. It's safer for our people to write. But if you find MMAT more comfortable, please go ahead and write the MMAT. The reason why I was talking about the ESA is because of safety. It allows candidates to write it from the comfort of their home. Okay, I have
Okay, so I have one more question. Sorry.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, so is it compulsory that you must write the exam before you complete the application, or you can write the exam after you have completed the application?
Yes, you
While
can write it.
still and begin school and begin like classes, like begin school while you wait like maybe a month after you like write the exam in maybe September, October, August, before
No,
you begin classes, or you need it before you?
No. Requirement means you need that requirement before you are admitted, not before the classes start. So admissions requirements are requirements before admissions. So it's a requirement that says that before you can be part of this program, you need to provide us this. So before we can issue that letter, before even admissions committee will even decide and sit on your application, you need to submit all those information. So the test score needs to be there. So you may submit your application without the test score, but the test score needs to be there before admissions committee can even look at your application. The application is not complete without the test score. So the issue of even getting admitted will not even arise unless you have completed the admissions requirements and admissions committee grants you admission.
Okay, thank you. That's just what I wanted to find out. So the application can be complete, but it's not fully complete until you have submitted the test scores. That's just what I want. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let me take a couple of questions from YouTube channel. They're asking for fees for the various programs. Yes. So the full-time MBA is 6 months. Yes, I'll come to you shortly. Could you please mute your mic? Thank you. I'll come to you shortly. Let me just take a couple of questions from YouTube channel. So candidates are asking for the fees for the various MBA program. We have 4 MBA programs. For the full-time, 6.9 million. We pay it in installments over the 18 months program. Pay it in 6 installments over 18 months program. We have the modular MBA for young professional. The tuition is 7.2 million, pay in 8 installments over 24 months. We also have the regular executive MBA program. The tuition is 8.4 million. You pay in 8 installments over 24 months. We have the modular executive MBA program. The tuition is 8.4 million. plus $5,000. The $5,000 is for the compulsory international module. The $5,000 covers tuition for the program, accommodation, feeding, local transportation, visa processing fees. The only thing it does not include is the flight ticket. The international module held either in IESE Business School in Spain, Nanyang Business School in Singapore, or Arizona State University. So either of these countries where the international module is held, and the tuition can be paid in installments over 24 months. So the next question on the chart said, what if one is having a master's degree and don't have up to 3 years work experience? Would that be considered? I'm sorry, Joshua, that will not be considered. You need to have worked for a minimum of 3 years before you can embark on the program. Iroha is also asked difference between ESA and, okay, Iroha, I've answered that. You should advise candidate to take. Okay, Awasam asked, you spoke about the minimum score of quantitative analysis. If you are below a minimum score in MMAT, can you be in school while you take the exam? No. If you are below the minimum score of MMAT, which 160, you cannot be considered for admission. So Techno, I don't have the name, but Techno Povera 3. For an applicant that's schooled in Nigeria, is it just WASC? Is it because that are just required? For candidates that studied in Nigeria, no. You need to provide your NYSC or discharge certificate, that is national service, discharge certificate. Those national service, we recognize it as work experience. So any national service, whether it's military service or any form of service, volunteer service that you did, whether within the country or outside the country, recognize that as work experience. Then Paul asked, is there a short-term program for you? Yes, there's a short-term program. Just go on our website under executive education, you see short-term programs for you to do. Ruth is also saying she joined late Lagos for the classes. So Ruth, currently the programs are online. The Modular Executive MBA is online plus residential classes. So that residential classes is now holding online as well because of the pandemic. So once this whole issue calms down, we'll revert to the previous format for Modular Executive MBA, which is some parts are online and some parts are residential classes. The residential classes are one intensive week every 2 months. Those 2 months that are not on campus, you have online classes, about 3 classes a week, scheduled later in the day so it doesn't clash with your office hours. But for the executive MBA, their classes are 100% face-to-face. But currently, because of the pandemic, all classes have migrated online. Can one apply with awaiting BSc result? If you can show proof that you completed the academic requirements, you're just waiting for Senate to approve, yes, we can use that. But you have to show proof that you completed the academic requirement. Where can one find details on the ESA? The ESA details are on our website. Anywhere on our website, you can see the ESA. You can just Google ESA by GMAC. You can see it on GMAC website. So that's all on that. So Nomso Iroha, your hand is up. Could you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Okay, Tosin, can you go ahead?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Sorry I joined late, but you have been able to do a summary of some of the questions. Then going back to the initial question asked by the previous person, ESA and NMAT, you were not very certain about, because I'm also trying to run away from anything too mathematical or something. Is it advisable to actually do the NMAT? If you know you don't have strong strength in anything in mathematics and things like that. That's one. Then secondly, the revision materials for any of those tests, are they online or how do we get it? And then thirdly, if one misses any module, let's say you have been admitted or not, how do you make up for it? I'm actually considering the executive MBA really. And lastly, sorry, I also wanted to differentiate again the difference between the modular MBA and the executive modular MBA.
Okay, Tosin. I'll try and remember and answer them. So the one I missed, please just remind me. You asked about ESA and MMAT. If you are not good in quant, which one will you take? So with regards to quant question on ESA and MMAT, the question sets that are ESA and MMAT are from the pool of questions that you see on GMAT. So it's not that one is less easier than the other. No. The thing is, one has less quant questions than the other. So for some candidates, you may want to do small sets of questions, and some may want to do many questions so that they can get the right score. But my colleague is also on this call. Our own colleague from the GMAC, Arjun, is the manager Middle East and Africa for GMAC, works with GMAC, is on this call, joined from India. So he'll be talking more about the ESA and the MMAT. Arjun, please, could you please answer Tosin's question with regards to whether she's not good in quantitative? Is she going to write the ESA or the NMAT test?
Sure, Ifinia. Hi, everyone. Good morning to one and all. My name is Arjun, and I head the Middle East and Africa markets for GMAC. So that's a good question. So first of all, there are some fundamental differences between the NMAT test and the essential skills assessment. So the NMAT has actually got 3 sections. It's got a quantitative, verbal, and logical reasoning. The essential skills has just got quantitative and verbal reasoning. So if it's just a personal sort of a perspective on this, but if you are feeling that quantitative is a little bit of a challenge for you, I would definitely recommend the essential skills assessment test. The essential skills assessment is the same questions as the GMAT, just the difficulty level is a little altered. So what I would recommend is go through all of the subject topics which are under quantitative, and then have a read of each question type through the GMAT books, or just googling up what type of a question it is and prepping for it. So if a quantitative is a little bit of a challenging section, I would definitely recommend the essential skills assessment test for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Arjun.
Most welcome.
Yes. Tosin, the next question has to do with the difference between the modular EMBA and the executive MBA program. Tosin, you want to say something?
Yes, please. But before then, I also asked about the revision materials for any of this.
Okay. So if you registered for the MMAT, you can get the free preparatory guide from us. We had the hard copies, but they are in school, but we'll see how we can make arrangements for you to get a free copy from NMAT. I think they give it free, then you have to pay for the logistics of transporting it to you. The guides are available. For the ESA, the same guide that they use for GMAT to prepare for the ESA, since the questions are from the pool of GMAT questions. But I know that GMAC, Arjun is here on the call, is making arrangements for a pool of sample questions that will be on the ESA section of their GMAC website. Arjun?
Yep.
I don't know if that.
So
yes.
Yeah. So you sort of partly answered the question. So what you can do is for the NMAT, of course, just leave your email ID and address with Ifinia, and Ifinia can forward your details to us, and we'll make sure a copy of the NMAT reaches you probably with the on-ground team on time. With the essential skills test, we don't have any preparatory material because the test by itself is supposed to be a no prep test. But what I would highly recommend is, go through the different types of questions. Like in quantitative, there are about 5 sections of the of different quantitative items. Each of these items are a subset of the GMAT book. So the GMAT OG is now available online. You can probably buy the OG and just go through the different types of questions from each type. So, and very basic prep is required. Practice about 5 or 6 questions to just get accustomed to it, because you get on average about 2 minutes to solve each of the question types. So time is of essence. So have a look at it, practice well, and you should be pretty fine with it.
Thank you, Arjun.
That's welcome.
Yeah. Tosin, the other question has to do with the difference. Do you want me to answer that now, or we have question regarding?
Yes, you can go.
Okay, thanks. So the difference between the modular executive MBA and the regular executive MBA program is on the profile and the flexibility of the program. So for the modular executive MBA program, the classes are 1 intensive week every 2 months. The candidates have online components, which is about 40% of the program. The executive MBA, there's no online component. Everything is face-to-face. Currently, because of the pandemic, everything now is 100% online. Educational institution hasn't resumed in Nigeria. So that's one of the difference. Another difference is that modular executive MBA, they have international module that is compulsory. For EMBA is optional. But for modular executive MBA, it is compulsory. So these are the differences. The modular executive MBA came about because some executives cannot afford to give up their weekends, their Saturdays for 2 years. So they wanted a program that is more flexible. And they wanted a program that even if they are not in Lagos, they can take part in the program, because executive MBA needed to be at Lagos Business School every week, while the modular executive MBA is just 1 week in 2 months. So find out that foreign candidates prefer a modular executive MBA program because it allows them to fly into the country and fly out and come back in the next 2 months. So it's more flexible for those candidates. Also for candidates that don't live in Lagos, that are in Port Harcourt, Abuja, Kano, Enugu, and all that, the modular executive MBA program is more flexible for these candidates. They just come in 1 week in 2 months. I don't know if I've been able to answer your question or if they have more.
Yeah, the last one is that if you miss a module, how do you make it for it?
Okay, so for the online classes that are currently ongoing, there are a form of recording that you can allow, that allows you to view the session. For the live classes, physical classes, if you miss a module, there is no way you can make up for it except meeting your group members and classmates that can compare notes with, or going through the cases. Mostly it's a case-led methodology that we use at LBS. So yeah, you are going to do about 600 cases. So it's about taking the case again and going through that. There's a minimum class attendance for each course you're going to do at LBS. You cannot miss more than 20% of each class. Let's say a class has 20 sessions. 20 sessions, each session is about 1 hour, 15 minutes, meaning that the faculty will come in, let's say marketing management 1, you will teach that marketing management 1 20 times. So you need to come into your class 20 times. Each time is 1 hour, 15 minutes, then there's a break. So you can't miss more than 20%. That means you can't miss more than 2 classes out of that marketing management 1. if you miss more than 20% of that class, you get downgraded. So let's say you're supposed to get an A in that course, you now get a B. You're supposed to get a B, you now get a C because you missed some level of class participation. So that is another way to manage that class attendance. So it's not that if you miss one, it's going to hurt you badly. No, it's only about 20% that if you miss more than that, then it's going to affect you. It's only online classes that if you miss, then you can come back to watch the recording again. But if face-to-face class, if you miss it, you've missed it. You don't need to talk with your colleagues and all that because you'll be shared in groups. Once you gain admission, you work with a group of 5 to 12, depending on the program you're working with. So before each class, you read the case on your own, you prepare with your group members for each class before you come into class, and then answer questions and discuss the case with your classmates. So that's the structure of the program.
Okay, thank you very much. But finally, with the uncertainty of this pandemic, as we have rightly said, that all classes have now become online.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
With the uncertainty of this pandemic, when it's going to come to an end, to be able to go back to school and things like that. Now, every other classes is now online.
Yes.
What differentiates the modular class from the regular class? If I have to pay for the modular class and they're all attending online.
So what
or something online?
I'm trying to rephrase your question. You're asking what differentiates the modular.
All classes are now online. I said if this pandemic continues and classes have started, right, and I've registered for the modular executive, which of course the prices are different. I'm saying, are you going to pay back or are you going to discount or I'm going to just make up later for, because this is 2 sessions, to pay for just normal regular modular class since we are now on the same online platform?
Okay, I understand what you're saying. The classes are delivered online, but the schedules are still the same. So it's 1 intensive week and 3 classes a week that are scheduled in later in the day. So those intensive weeks are now held online. So those intensive weeks are now held online. In terms of difference in cost, because we don't know when this pandemic is ending, we can't say that, okay, because this particular MBA program is now this, the tuition is now this, because federal government may release guidelines with regards to the education in September, for example, and the school will reopen. Is it that we'll now come back to say, hey, the prices have changed now, this and all that? It affects class participation in terms of some people may be able to drop from the class because their budget and all that has been fixed. So what we know for now is that this is the tuition for this particular program based on the information we have as at today. As the things change, if you're on the program as things change, the MBA program managers and the MBA leadership will look at it on a case-by-case basis to resolve that. Because currently, we had something similar with our current MBA students, and the school worked with them to work out various palliatives and different structure of tuition payment for the program. So it's on a case-by-case basis that I think the MBA department are going to handle that. But for now, work with the information we have as of today, and the tuition is still the way it is, unless we have any other information that will enable us to change that. But the participants that are currently on the MBA program, they brought it up some couple of months back, and the MBA department made adjustment with regards to their tuition. So there are, Tosin, if you don't have any other question, I'd like to take some questions from the chat.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. So someone asked them, can one apply with HND? That's on YouTube. Can one apply with HND? Yes, you can apply with HND if you have a postgraduate diploma in addition to your HND program. Then someone on the MMBA, someone asking MMBA. Modular MBA is a flexible MBA program for young professionals that allows you to come into class 1 week in 3 months. So it's supposed to be 4 intensive weeks in a year, on campus 4 intensive week. First year, second year, on campus 4 intensive week, and you are done with the program. Right now, they are receiving classes online. So they have intensive weeks online, and they have their regular classes as well. The program duration is 24 months. And you need to have a minimum of 3 years work experience for you to come on the Modular MBA program. If you have HND, PGD, plus PGD, you can apply for the Modular MBA program. The next question has to do with scholarships, minimum score for scholarship. Yes, we do have limited scholarships on the full-time MBA program. For foreign participants that fly in and fly out on our various MBA program, they have a 10% tuition scholarship. For our full-time MBA program, if you want more scholarship, then you need to apply for the full-time MBA program. That's where we have more scholarship, because these candidates are doing the program full-time. They left their work, they're out of work. So this could provide more scholarship for them. Can get up to 90%. Before now, you can get up to 100%. We have a candidate we've given 90%, a foreign national giving up to 90% scholarship, but it can get, generally can get up to 50%. Exceptional cases can get more. The minimum MMAT, you need to score from 185 and above, GMAT 500 and above, GRE, you need to score 305 and above. Yvonne said that pandemic, the full-time MBA is online due to the pandemic. Will classes be held as normal? That is Monday to Friday and normal duration hours daily. Yes, classes are being held as normal, Monday to Friday. You know, we just moved everything online. So the data we are getting is showing us that people are having, our students are having some reservation with regards to having everything online, screen liturgy and all that, Monday to Friday. So we might tweak that between now and when the next program starts in September. We might tweak that. Normally, face-to-face, you have about 6 hours of study a day, face-to-face. That is 4 sessions in a day. But since March, when we pivoted to online and we studied the data, we are finding that more of our participants are having fatigue, screen fatigue. So we are looking at ways to tweak that, since everything is now on screen, so that we can reduce that fatigue online. So there's going to be some slight changes on that face-to-face classes. Okay. Okay. Yes. Sorry for calling. Sorry if I didn't get it right, but I think I will say was asking, now that the classes are online, are still going to place in different groups. Yes, standard MBA program at LBS, you need to be in groups. You work closely with your group mates based on your experience and your profile. You'll be grouped together so that we don't have the same people from maybe accounting background and the same group. No, because across different groups. What's the minimum score for ESA for scholarship? Since the exam is new, we've not determined that. But for application, the minimum score is a 7 for the unprofessional MBA program, either the full-time modular MBA, and a 5 for the executive. We've not determined the minimum score for ESK for scholarship because the exam is just new. But we're going to do that in the coming weeks because we have some candidates that are applying for scholarship. What are the requirements for the EMBA and member? The requirements are for EMBA member, you need 5 credits, including English and mathematics. You need a minimum of second class lower. You need to write either the ESA, GMAT, or GRE. We advise you to write the ESA test because it's a 15 minutes test, or write from the comfort of your home because of this pandemic. You can also write the MMAT if you prefer that. Then Iro is asking, is there an internship program for the full-time after MBA is completed? No, the internship program is after your first academic session. After 9 months, you go back on a corporate internship program, which is about 3 months. So yes, the MBA Careers Office help MBA full-time candidates to get job back since they left work to do their full-time MBA. So the Career Office provides some level of support to help them get back to work. Rita has asked, are we required to take just one out of the lineup? Yes, you are required to take only one test out of the other option, only one test. So it's either this or this. Anyone you prefer, you can write. So it's either GMAT or NMAT or ESA or GRE. And I'm saying that we advise you to write the ESA because of the various reasons. It's convenient, it's safe, can schedule it 24 hours of the day. So Esther, please go ahead. Your hand is up.
Okay, so my question is about the ESA.
Please go ahead.
I am on the site, LBS site, but I haven't found a link or anywhere to go to get more details on the ESA. So more information, really.
Okay, just Google ESA by GMAC.
By GMAC.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? You can put it on chat or you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay. B, your hand is up. Could you please go ahead? Hello, B, your network is bad. Maybe you can put it on the chat. I can barely, it's dragging. Your network is bad, it's dragging. So just put it on the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, just put it on chat. Your network is dragging. Amos. Amos. Yeah, please
Yeah,
go
good
ahead.
afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my question is that I have is someone with HND and ACA, is he qualified for the program?
Okay, no. If you have HND, you need to get a postgraduate diploma in any field for you to join the program.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
welcome. Okay, Obina, go ahead. Obina, your hand is up. Please go ahead. Okay, Akuna, your hand is up. Please go ahead.
All right, good morning. My question is about the degree requirements. You said the minimum degree requirement is a second class lower, right?
Yes, minimum
Okay,
second class lower.
minimum. Okay, I have lower than that in my first degree, but I just finished up. I just finished the second degree, and I also have a minimum of a 3 year working experience. Can I use this newer degree, which I'll be completing in September, to apply for the program,
Which program?
the MBA program, sir?
You mean the full time?
Yes, sir.
No, because if the degree you are getting is this year, right?
Yes, of course.
Meaning that the first degree you had, you can't use that to apply, right?
Yes, of course.
Good. So we'll count post qualification from the one you're getting this year.
Wow. Okay. So I can apply for the program.
No, I didn't say you cannot apply. You cannot apply this year.
Okay. Wow. All right, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Obina, are you there? Your hand is up.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon all. So please, I wanted to find, I'm just joining, so I couldn't join earlier. Sorry about that. I wanted to find out about the financial aid. I guess you guys have financial aid and stuff like that, scholarships and what have you. So I wanted to find out more about that. I don't know if you guys have spoken about it earlier. So
Okay, let me talk about it. Yes. So we have various scholarships for all our MBA programs. If you're a foreign national, you get 10% discount on your tuition. The reason is that one also help you defray the cost of flying in and out of your own home country to study in Lagos. The next is the full time. That's where we'll have more of the money going to, especially if you're applying for more scholarship. The reason is that full time, they've left their work, so they're not earning income, they're on campus full time and they are studying. So you can get up to 50%, then exceptional cases to get more than that. Tuition scholarship. So for full time, that is 6.9 million. So you can get easily 3.3, depending on the pool of applicants that are applying. Excuse me. We started offering scholarship since early part of this year. So, and the funds are limited. So you can get 50% situational cases more than that. We give a candidate, a foreign student, up to 90%. scholarship this year. So that is available. We also have study loans that are available for a financial institution that you can also access. So those are the funding that we have available for participants on the MBA program. I don't know if I've been able to answer that. Okay, B, I'm just going to chat now. B is asking, what if you don't meet the NMAT minimum scores and later want to take another exam? Can you take the ESA or you must take the NMAT? Excuse me. So B, no. If you didn't get the minimum in NMAT, you can take the ESA, right? Or you can take the ESA, you didn't get the minimum, you want to take the NMAT, fine. You can do that. You also spoke about for those who will do an exchange. No, the $5,000 is for the modular executive MBA program. Excuse me, it's a compulsory tuition for them for their international immersion program. It's not for the full-time or for executive MBA or for the modular MBA. Excuse me. For the full-time MBA, there's an exchange program. The last semester of your MBA program, you can embark on an exchange program with our partner business schools across the globe. We have with India Institute of Management, Ahmedabad in India. We have with the ESA Business School in Spain. We have with ESAG in France. We have with Bocconi University in Italy. We have in EPADE Business School in Mexico. We have with Stellenbosch in South Africa, University of Cape Town, both in South Africa. So you can do exchange program with any of these partner business school abroad at no extra tuition. In fact, it's part of your tuition. So we encourage candidates to go on exchange with our partner business schools. Sorry, excuse me. Abroad. Please, once you're on the program, please take that advantage. You're not constitute any more. You're not paying anything more on the tuition for you to embark on student exchange program on the full-time MBA program. The only thing you're paying is for your living expense and your flight ticket. So with a little over a few dollars, you can live in any of these countries and then do a full semester between 3 and 6 months with any of these partner business. Once you are done, you can send your transcript, the form part of your excuse me, academic qualification. So it's not part of, it's not included in any of these other MBA programs. So for full-time, their own exchange program is separate for other programs. You also have other opportunities to go on international immersion trips. We have the Jinan Week that allows you to go on a 1 week international exchange with any of our partners business schools abroad without paying any tuition. This one is available across all the MBA program because we are part of Jinan Network by Yale School of Management in the US that allows about 34 business schools across the globe to be able to do a student exchange that allows their own students to come to LBS and spend 1 week understudying our markets. Then our own participants go on exchange with any of these business school, Yale in the US, ESA in Spain, IPADE in Mexico, Stellenbosch in South Africa, for them to do Global Network for Advanced Management Week for a whole 1 week without paying extra tuition. School helps you to get your visa for any of these school programs. So these are opportunities for you to do exchange. We have special arrangements with Yale School of Management that allows you to finish at LBS and embark on 1 year, 9 months Master of Advanced Management program with the Yale School of Management in the US. And they use the admissions requirement I used to enter into LBS to do that. But you have to pay for that separate. It's not part of your tuition. It costs around $90,000 for that 9 months Master of Advanced Management at Yale. And they typically give about $20,000 to $30,000 tuition discount or scholarship for students that want to embark on that. So that's it, B. Then I have Okoyemi. Please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Okoyemi. Just
Good
a quick
afternoon.
question. I joined late, so I'm sorry if I'm dragging you back. I'm just going to narrow my question to my own requirement. So I've already started applying for the modular NBA, and I think I've uploaded the document. I just need to make payments and write the essay. Just want to confirm, what will be the deadline to make sure that I get admission for this year? And what exam will I need to write?
Okay. Thank you, Payemi. You need to write the exams that will have as options, either the ESA, MMAT, GMAT, or GRE. Any of those exams you can write. Like I said, we prefer you to write the ESA. The reason being that you can write from the comfort of your home. Some other candidates prefer to write the MMAT because, hey, they've been studying with the MMAT guide, so they want to take that particular exam. So fine and good. You can do, excuse me, you can do all that. MMAT is $75. ESA is $129, but GMAT gave us discount, so you can take it at $55. We are grateful for that discount. So we can share discounted vouchers with you to underwrite discounted ESA. Sorry. So you can write either. The deadline is 11th of August. We need to have gotten your test score, everything, 11th of August for the August intake that is starting. Because the Modular Executive MBA was moved from July to start in August. So the deadline for everything is, excuse me, working from home is not easy. Sorry for me. So that is it. I don't know if I've been able to answer that question.
Yes, I think you are, but just for clarity, in terms of priority, which should I put in as what I should conclude as soon as possible? Will it be the exam or completing the online application?
Okay, it is the application. Order of priority, complete the application, get all the documents sorted out. Excuse me. So you have your GRE, you have your CVs, you update it, upload, you have your certificates, O-level, NYC exemption letter, degree certificates. You have all that. You have additional qualification. You ensure that all that has been sorted out, and then you upload that, go through the information there. If there is additional requirements, just complete the references and all that. Ensure that, sorry, excuse me. Sorry. So if you have any other additional documents, just upload it, get your references in time, and just sort everything out. Then can then focus on the exam and then write any of the tests. ESA, minimum preparation, you are ready, just go in and then write it. I don't know if I've never to answer that.
Yeah, you've been very helpful. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Welcome. Okay, so I have Infinix Note 5 stylus. I don't have your name. Could you please go ahead with your question?
Okay. Good afternoon. This is Boniface speaking. Yeah, I wanted to. I'm just asking about the modular MBA. I'm confused of which one to take. If it's modular MBA or EMBA. Sorry, I came a bit late.
Okay.
I have experience of about 6 years in management, though I have another postgraduate master's already, but I wanted to enroll in the MBA. I don't know which one you will advise me to take. And also there was a flyer that was sent to me about the cost. I think I saw about 3.5 billion or thereabout. And I was told that it's flexible. And while you were talking, you mentioned something about study loan, which is available. Does that also apply for Modular MBA and EMBA. So I just wanted to get that bit of information. Thanks.
Yes, Boniface, sorry, let me clarify. You said you have about 6 years of management experience. So your total years of work experience is how long?
Okay, total year of work experience is just it's 10 years. Yeah.
That is, you got them after graduation, not including the one.
Yeah, after
Okay,
graduation.
Okay, good, good. So between the executive MBA and the modular executive MBA, it is about schedule and also about how you want the level of interaction to be. What are you comfortable with? Our regular EMBA class size is about 70, the average, while the modular executive MBA class size is about 40 on the average. And the executive MBA is weekends. Some candidates, some participants don't want to give up their weekends for 2 years. So that may be a challenge, while the modular executive MBA is flexible, partly residential, partly online. So allows candidates to work and study, especially those that have candidates that are not living in Lagos, that come in for classes and then they go out. So those are the differences. What I will advise is that my colleague shared my phone number here so that can reach out to me so that I can advise you better, because I need to also ask you some other questions that are more personal so that we won't do it in a public channel. It's more direct personal questions.
All right. Okay, thanks. I hope the number will be shared on the chat.
He has already shared that, so just scroll through and check. Or he's also going to share it again on the chat. Or you can also take my email. You can just send me an email and then we can pick it up from there. My email is on the PowerPoint that is being shared.
All right, thank you very much.
Welcome. Okay, thank you everyone. Let me go to the chat and quickly take some questions before I invite Arjun to talk about the ESA and the MMAT. So the next session for member is starting August this year. The next one will start July next year. Please, what is the right word for the exam, GMAC or GMAT? GMAT is a test for graduate management admission. GMAC are the body that owns the GMAT exam. So GMAT is a product of GMAC. GMAC is an organization on its own, the legal entity on its own that owns the GMAC exam and the GMAC brand name and the GMAC trademark. So GMAT is an exam, is a test on its own that you go into, is a computer adapted test that you go into a test center and write. GMAC owns GMAT. The admission tests are, okay, my colleague is sharing that. Okay. Yes, HND and PGD plus PGD is acceptable for modular MBA, modular executive MBA, and executive MBA. It's not acceptable for the full-time MBA. Any scholarship for EMBA, once is asking, yes, there's scholarship across our MBA program, 10% maximum, and it's for foreign nationals that are not based here. So it enables them to defray the cost. If you want more scholarship, consider full-time MBA. So the full-time MBA are giving more because they are not working, they are only studying. Do you have a center in Abuja? Yes, we do have CBN Training Center. We usually use that, but it's for our executive MBA programs, executive education program, not for regular MBA programs. My colleague just shared my number here as well, so you can pick that. So Area is just asking, is there a definite date fixed for the full-time program? Yes, it's September, first Monday in September. I think that is September 2nd. first Monday in September, that's when full-time MBA is starting. The calendar has been out since last year. In other words, scholarship are not for nationals. Scholarship are for nationals. If you're applying for full-time MBA program. For the executives that are working, no. For non-Nigerians that are also coming into the country to do the MBA program, there's scholarship for them to defray that cost. There are scholarship for nationals who are applying for full-time MBA program. Sorry, at this point, I would like to invite Arjun to talk about the ESA exam, including the MMAT. So I'll stop sharing so that if he wants to share and talk, he will be able to do that. Sorry.
Sure, Ifine, I'm trying to share my screen. It says host is disable participant screen sharing. Yep.
Hold on, I'll sort it out now. Okay, Arjun, go ahead now. You can do that now.
Okay. Just let me know whenever it's visible, Ifine.
It is now. It's visible. I can see it.
Okay, so that's perfect. So I won't take too much time here. I'll just run everybody through a quick presentation on the essential skills assessment. Initially, I won't be talking about the NMAT, but definitely I'm happy to answer some questions because NMAT by itself is right now it's available only in limited test centers. And the website for the NMAT is also quite comprehensive, and we can take questions offline. So to just get things started, I'll talk about the essential skills assessment. So the test by itself is about 50 minutes. It consists of 10 verbal questions, 15 quantitative questions, and the questions are basically GMAT questions. The difficulty levels are altered, but it's similar to what you would see on the GMAT, and I would even call it a subset of the GMAT. The other big advantage with this test is it can be taken 24/7 at your convenience from your home. It's very secure. We use a very efficient proctoring system for this. And the scores are also divided. You get basically 3 scores. You get a quantitative score, you get a verbal score, and you get a total score. And it's scored out of 15. And if you look at the contents of the test, the verbal reasoning basically consists of 2 subsections, which is reading comprehension and critical reasoning, both of which are subsets of the GMAT test. And the numerical reasoning has got descriptive statistics, measurement conversions, basic computations, algebra, ratios, and problem solving. So if you actually look at it, these are actually subsets of the GMAT test. What I would highly recommend you to do is, since these are the 8 topics which are going to be coming on your test, what I would recommend to you is take each of these from the official guide of the GMAT, practice questions from there. And this is widely touted as a no prep test, but if you do want to prep the test, this would be the right method to go about it. So take, for example, basic algebra. Basic algebra, there are about 50 pages on the official guide, which details out what type of questions can come in basic algebra, what are the types of mechanisms you can use to solve these questions. All of these can be done through the official guide. I will post links of all of the official guides and even the deck and everything on the comment section post this presentation. And the structure of the essential skills test is it's first 20 minutes you concentrate on verbal reasoning, 10 questions. So it's basically 2 minutes a question, reading comprehension, critical reasoning. The thing to note about this is, there are certain techniques for each of these to be done. So if you sort of master the techniques, so reading comprehension, they actually tell you in the GMAT, skim through the passage, look at the questions, then again skim through the passage, then you would know what the answers are. Things like these, which are already quite evident on the test itself. So you should probably use those tactics to solve these questions. And the scores for verbal reasoning are between 0 to 5. For every correct question, you would get about, it's in a 1 point increment. Next is quantitative reasoning. Quantitative reasoning takes the majority of the time. It takes about 30 minutes, 15 questions. And again, it's scored from 0 to 10. The aggregate of your verbal score plus your quantitative score is what your total score would be. So when LBS tells you you'll have to score a minimum of a 5 or a 7, it's an aggregate of your verbal plus quantitative score. And for this, this is just good to know information. So for this, we actually partnered with a company called ProctorU. ProctorU is the world's most advanced online proctoring system. They have a very host. This is information which you should know, because when you're going to take the test, you shouldn't be surprised. There are two levels of proctoring which is happening right here. First is you would submit all the essential documents, all of this. So your ID and to just make sure that it's the same person who is registered for the test is taking the test also. And then the proctoring by itself is a human proctor who's always looking at you, who's going to check your physical ID and all of this through your webcam on the day of testing. And there's also artificial intelligence built into it. So if you are probably, connecting a device to your computer or something, it automatically detects and it gives the proctor an alert. So it's very, very secure. And this is good for you also. And coming to the registration process, I will post all the links there. Globally, the test is for $129. For LBS, we worked out a special pricing. It's $55. And it's a $74 off on the test product. So to avail this offer, you will have to write to LBS, and LBS will give you a code. That code, when you buy the test, you just input that code like a discount code, and the price comes down to $55. You may reschedule the test up to 24 hours in advance of the test. Please note that if it's 3 p.m. Nigeria time up till 2:59 the previous day, you can reschedule. Post that, we wouldn't be able to reschedule. And you can take the test a total of 2 times with a gap of about 24 hours between each session. Yeah, and since this is a new test, and this is just housekeeping rules, so since this is a very new test, and the procedures involved in it are quite new, what I would highly recommend is go through the policies and procedures of the test. Set up your laptop. There is a link which you can use to test the entire software. Make sure you're running it on an updated browser such as Chrome or Firefox. Also check, this is very basic computer requirements, but just it's better to check on that particular day whether your computer matches that particular testing requirement. And it's all self-explanatory. Even the proctor can come online and help you through the process. And the other big thing which I already mentioned is, there is a link which is used to test your hardware. Before the test, please log in. If your test is at 3 p.m., please log in at least 15 to 20 minutes earlier so that you can test out all these procedures, so that you have, you get your test started on time and you don't go through any hiccups. Also, make sure that the environment which you're testing is quite secure. Make sure there's no people around, there's no external noises, because your audio and video are recorded. And if you are taking the test, from a crowded area of sorts, make sure there's no one around you, there's no sort of cheating, because any of this raises red flags and the test can be cancelled even post you taking the test. So we don't want such unseen post areas. And also make sure the testing area is well lit. Please don't take it from a dark room, because the proctor would want to see what's around you, who's around you, and all of these. And make sure that the calendar is there. There's a calendar invite which is being sent to you when you take the test. So add it to your calendar so that it prompts you with an invoice. And also, make sure that the ID which you use to register for the test, you have that handy, because the proctor would ask you to show you the ID. You'll have to show him the ID, get yourself verified, and then you can take the test. So you would, after taking the test, you would immediately know what your score is, but that's called the unofficial score. Your official score will go directly to the university 7 days post your testing, within 7 days. So it might be in 4 days also, but LBS would get the score directly. But if you're running close to the admission cycles, you can definitely use the unofficial score to just, inform LBS probably that, we have taken the test, we have got such and such score, and the score would come to them 7 days in advance, and then they can keep a lookout for the same. And these are the basic system requirements. As you can see, it's built to last in large variety of markets and very basic computers. So I don't think you should have any issue here unless, and we have seen certain cases where a company restricted laptop with a VPN, a virtual private network, that generally throws up a hiccup when you're taking the test. So if you can sort of avoid that, you would save yourself some time. And also with respect to, signing, there's an overview of the dashboard. All of these links would be up there. This is the person, David. He is on the ground. He's based in Lagos. So any customer care, anything, you can note these numbers down and call us, and we would be able to assist you through the process. And all the very best. With respect to the NMAT, it's a very similar test. It's a longer test, which is about 2 hours. It's at $75. You'll have to go to the physical test center and take it. So that's not very advisable right now. So we would encourage you to take the essential skills assessment because it's also cheaper. It saves a little money on your pocket, and it's more secure as well. That's it, Ifeanyi. If you want me to cover anything else, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, as they come. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Boniface, your hand is up. I don't know if you want to ask any question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't put it down after the first question. Thanks. I'll get you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you so much. My colleagues on this call, so we'll take a quick tour of the campus and then we'll close. If you have any question, put it on the chat or you can unmute yourself and then ask. Thank you so much. Kinsley, yeah, sure.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are going to have a quick tour of the LBS campus. So in front of us here is the entrance, just off the Lagos Ibejuleki Expressway. And we get into the school. So this is the first thing you see when you get into the school, the driveways to the car park, and there is the main entrance of the school. The reception. So coming in from the reception area, this is the door that you pass through. On this side, we have the auditorium here, and on the other side, we have the offices and classrooms. So and here is the main auditorium. So the main auditorium is the largest class, or I would say events place that the school holds its major events, graduation ceremonies, the information session like this one we are attending virtually now. If COVID wasn't the case, this is where it normally happens. So from here, I would like us to quickly go to the library. So this is our library. The library is open from Monday to Saturday. So on Saturdays especially, we get some of the students that are doing the online delivered courses and stay close to the school coming to have quiet study times. And let's take a step in. The ambience and comfort for studies in the library, it can't be compared really with studying at home. And that's why we get a lot of the students even coming on Saturdays and sometimes after school to have some study times before they go back home. So when you come into the library from here, you see the library attendants, and you meet them, make your inquiry, take whatever book you want to, or if you have your books already to study, you just walk upstairs or downstairs, wherever you feel comfortable to use. Another area I would like to show us is the crèche for ladies that have kids. So the crèche is open to students that have kids between 0 and 5 years, for them to have the kids here while they are studying or going about their normal school work for the day. Also, the classrooms will be another good area to look at, because due to the COVID concerns, definitely social distance is something that will be implemented, and this will also take effect in the classrooms. So this is our standard classroom. This is where the lecturer delivers the course from, and we see the spacing from seat to seat between students and how lit the board is. So this board, there is also the projecting space that can be rolled down if need be. The last place I would like to take us to is the chapel. We have a chapel and a mosque in the school, and for Muslims, they use the mosque, and for Christians, they use the chapel for quiet times of prayer during school, after school, weekends. It's always open. So that being said, let's go back to the long view to have some quick view about the environment. So this is the main entrance of the school. This is the driveway. That is the driveway coming from the gate. So for a typical car, you can only go this way, not this way, because this is the exit and this is how you come in. And there we see that main entrance again, and the library entrance at the other side. So this is the back area of the school. At the distance is EDC, and this other area, we also have car parks in this area, and this is another entrance to the library. I think that does it for the school tour. Thank you.
Thank you, Kingsley. Thank you so much. Kemishola, I noticed your hand was up when Kingsley was talking. Do you have any question you want answered? Kemi Shola. Okay. Kemi sent a private chat, said, when will admission for member 2021 be open? Admission for 2021 will open in September this year for next year's enrollment to open in September. So to be on the website, so you can start applying from September. Osaze is asking, per the reference, is there any specific qualification for acceptance? Yes, people who know you in academic or professional capacity. Yes. People that know you in academic or professional capacity, those are the references we accept. Any other questions with regards to admission, the tests? If not, you can call it a day.
Sorry, I have a question. I don't know. I raised my hand, but perhaps it's not showing over there.
Okay, so sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Right. So thank you for taking us through the process of your admission, enriching, I must say. It caught my attention when you were taking us through the various facilities. And for that reason, I'd like to ask a question. Number one is, even when COVID is over, do you consider doing some of these programs online? Because this is literally like real life, I would say. The only difference is that we're not seeing each other and we're not seeing the lecturer that is taking us through this, or maybe we're not enjoying the facility, which I must say looks very good. The second one is when you took us through the library facility, thank you for that, but I was just wondering if your library facility is just, can you elaborate more on what is there? Do we have online electronic assets that one can use instead of physical books. You know, that is just about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, George. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying. I noticed you are one of the people that have been joined earlier and being with us throughout the session. Thank you. Yes, with regards to the first questions, moving some sessions online. Yes, as an institution that prides itself as impacting the Christian conception of man through the knowledge that we disseminate, letting our participants know that human beings are human beings and they should be treated differently, whether in management or in any other business practice. We, before now, shared our way of running 100% online program because of that reason. So we felt that if you are trying to impact human beings to form better managers, better business leaders, they need interaction, more physical face-to-face interaction. That was before now. But all this changed because of COVID, and it's changing because of COVID. So we've done blend of programs, blended learning. We've not done 100% online, but that discussion is changing as we speak because of what is happening currently. So the likelihood of us doing MBA program 100% online is there. A good example is some of the open seminars we've run that are now 100% online. Before now, it wasn't that way. Some part of it was online, some were physical classrooms. So yes, that is changing everything. But rest assured, before anything comes out from LBS, LBS, we'll be able to, it will definitely be something that the general public has found interesting and has been researched before we can have such thing online. So yes, it's still in the works. Definitely it's something that may come up because we are currently evaluating that and looking at what is currently going on. So I will not rule out 100% online MBA from Lagos Business School. It's still in the works. Then with regards to your second questions, yes, we'll have 3 services, online library services that our participants are automatically given access to for library materials across the globe. So that is not an issue. Even as an alumni member of the school, if you're looking for any article, any journal, any resource, you can just email the school library and they do well to get that copy for you through our network of libraries across the globe. So don't worry about that resource and material. We do have that. Someone raised his hand. Ola, please go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I want to ask difference between the modular executive MBA and executive MBA.
Okay, Ola. The difference has to do with the profile of the candidate, the nature of the program, the way it's delivered. So what we've seen on the executive MBA are candidates that typically have about 12 years work experience on the average, and their average age is in the mid 30s. While on the model executive MBA, what we're seeing on the average is they are in late 40s, their own years of work experience. average age of the candidates that are coming late 40s. The average years of work experience we've seen about 14 years on our modular executive MBA. The modular executive MBA is more flexible than the executive MBA. Executive MBA is a weekend program, more or less. Fridays and Saturdays classes. Friday they start at 2 p.m. and end at 7:30 in the evening. Saturdays between 9 and 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And they do that for 2 years. So candidates who cannot afford to give up their weekend usually would like to move over to the modular executive MBA program. That is more flexible. It's partly online, partly residential. The online classes are one intensive week. The residential classes are one intensive week every 2 months. So candidates who want more flexibility go for the modular executive MBA program. And also candidates who are based outside Lagos, they prefer the modular executive MBA program because it's more convenient, allows candidates who are based outside Lagos to fly in those one intensive week every 2 months for their physical face-to-face classes. So those are the differences. And again, the tuition are not the same for both programs. I don't know if I've been able to answer Yola.
Yeah. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going back to the chat. Are you suggesting that someone who's in 30s may not do? No. No, that's not what I mean. When I say average, that's why sometimes I don't usually mention something of age or work experience in terms of averages. What I mean, once you use average, it means that some people's age are below and some people's age are above. Average is on a class of, let's say 100 people. You have people whose age are 32, 33, 38, 39, 45, 47. So once the average is around 35, it means that we have more on the average, you can see people that are around that 35 years. Unless we do the standard deviation of those age, you can be able to say, okay, what's the distribution? Are they more around the mean or well distributed? You can then say, okay, this is how the age is distributed. But on the average, just to get a general feel of what the age distribution is in that class. But remember, averages can be skewed or misleading. This is statistics, so it might be misleading because you might have someone who is 70 years of age and someone who's 28 years of age and still have average that is 35. So we usually use average to explain something in summary, the distribution of age. It doesn't mean that you don't have people who are in their 30s or their 40s that are in that class. Age differences, yes, that's the same thing I was trying to explain. The average age of candidates in that class. It doesn't mean that you're younger or older and you meet the admission requirements, we are not going to take you. What it means is that on the average, have more older people on the executive MBA. Like for example, the average age on the full-time MBA is 28 years. So what does it tell you? If you're comparing that 28 years on the average for full-time MBA and the average age of 35 years for the executive MBA, what does it tell you? It tells you on the average, the likelihood of you, the probability of meeting someone who is older is more on the executive MBA than on the full-time MBA. So it gives you a rough idea of the profile of the people that they can meet in those classes. Those are the differences of those age. Have more younger people on the full-time MBA than on the executive MBA program. So those are the differences. Any other question with regards to the MBA program? If not, we'll close. Okay, in the absence of any other program, thank you so much for making it a day with us for our virtual Q&A session. Thank you so much. And thank you, Arjun. Thank you, David. Thank you, Kingsley. And thank you all those that ask questions. Osaze, Ruth, Kemishola, Nomso, Wonsu, Awabi, and the rest of other crew, Boniface and all that ask questions. Thank you so much for making it a day with us. Thank you. You can use any of the contacts that my colleague shared to reach us for any more clarification that you may have, or you remember something you wanted to quickly ask us. Thank you. Thank you so much.